Right, moving from solids now to high viscosity mixers. Okay, and high viscosity mixers are available in the vertical configuration. They are available in the horizontal configuration. So you have anchor and helical impellers, or the single and double planetary mixers. These are typically the high viscosity mixers in vertical configurations. And horizontal, you have the double arm mixers or the sigma kneader. You have the kneader extruder. You have the single and twin screw extruders, and then you have some high shearing equipment. Now, we don't have too many high viscosity mixing applications. We are only handling a dowel, which is in the case of tap hole, and there we are using what is called as a double arm mixer or the sigma mixer. We quickly run through this vertical type of viscous mixers. These are change can mixers. So as the name suggests, you have a can which you can replace, move it inside into the mixing zone, mix it, and take it out. So in such cases, the weighing of material can be accurately done. The cleaning of mixing vessel is easy. The packing gland seals don't come in contact with the material, so there is no contamination. You can have multiple cans which can be used to increase the productivity. Because of the vertical configuration, these equipment can be operated at as low as 10% of their design capacity. And yes, because they are handling high viscosity materials, it may be difficult to discharge the material from this for all viscosities. So in such cases, we have a separate hydraulically operated discharge system which pushes the material after the mixing takes place. The single planetary mixer. Okay, so as the name suggests, it's a planetary mixer, so the mixing blade will have a planetary motion. There are different kinds of beaters available. So, there's a batter type, a wire whip, a hook type. The discharge of the material from the bowl can be by hand scooping when the material is pasty and does not flow through a bottom discharge wall, and through a bottom discharge wall if the material is flowable. The single planetary mixer is used for mixing of dry and wet powders, light paste, gels, and dows. So probably something like a toothpaste that can be mixed in a single planetary mixer. Just like you have the single planetary mixer, you also have the double planetary mixer. Now, the difference between a single and a double planetary mixer is that here you have two mixing blades, and both have a planetary motion. So they revolve around their own axis, while they also revolve around the bowl axis. And these mixers are rugged, and they are capable of handling viscosities to the tune of 5 million centipoids. They are very good mixers when it comes to heating or cooling applications. They're very good when you want the mixer to be operating under vacuum. As I said, cleanability in these kind of mixers is very good. And in terms of its ability to handle viscous mass, the double planetary mixer is only next to the sigma mixer. What you see, the picture on the right bottom, that's what is called as a rectangular beater planetary mixer. You have different beater designs. The other common beater is the helical blade, which is capable of handling even higher viscosity than the blade that you see, the rectangular beater. Right. Coming to the sigma mixer or the double arm mixer, okay, and that is the mixer that we are using for tap hole clay. And as you can see in the image to the right, there are two mixing blades which are placed in a W-shaped horizontal vessel. Now, the best part of these mixers, and as you can see, that the clearance between the vessel wall and the blade is to the tune of 1 to 2 millimeters. So effectively, the entire mass of material or the entire volume of material inside is swept by these blades. So viscous mass of material is pulled, sheared, compressed, kneaded, and folded by the action of these blades against the walls of the mixer trough. You can provide a jacketed construction to the bowl for heating and cooling. These mixers are capable of handling materials up to viscosities of 10 million centipoise. That is the versatility of this equipment. Mixing homogeneity, well, up to 99%. Fill up volumes of the bowl can be variable between 40 to 65% of the total volume. They are high on power. The power typically is in the range of 45 to 75 kilowatt per meter cube of product. So this is the workhorse when it comes to viscous mixing, and certainly this kind of mixer gives excellent mixing results, excellent shear, very good dispersion, and you have options, depending on whether you want low shear, you want high shear. So one option is that the blade design, as you can see on the top right, you can have a tangential blade design. So the two blades in the W-shaped container, as we can see, they rotate at tangents to each other. And the other option which we have is an overlapping blade. In the overlapping, the blades overlap. Okay, so it's but obvious when they are at tangent, the blades are at differential speeds, whereas when they are overlapping, they are always at the same speed. The front and the rear blade of the two blades, they operate at the same speeds. And tangential blade is used for higher viscosities when kneading action is required. And overlapping blade is used for lighter materials such as creams and paste. Overlapping blade is very commonly used in carbon paste manufacturing. The blade types, the most common, probably more than 90% of the applications will have a sigma blade. But then there are applications which have, a heavy duty blade, which is called as a masticator. There is a low shear blade design, which is a spiral. There is a high shear design, which is a naben. There is what is called as a shredder blade, which is used for fibrous materials. So different kind of mixing elements can be provided depending on the application for these kind of double arm mixers. These mixers also have options in terms of discharge, depending on the flowability or the viscosity of the material. So the discharge can be by tilting of the container. So once the mixing is completed, okay, and it is not easy to discharge the material, you tilt the entire mixing vessel. There are hydraulic mechanisms where you can have a controlled tilting, and the material can be discharged, from the mouth of the mixer. The second option is a bottom discharge valve, and this is commonly used for non-sticky materials where it can be pushed and the blades rotating, the bottom wall opening, it just kind of material goes down, and it takes less space. The operation is easier. And when you have extremely viscous materials, we talked about these equipment handling 10 million centipoise. In such cases, there is a extruder or a discharge screw, as you can see in the picture on the right. In the center, there is an extruder screw, and these are for difficult to discharge materials. So these not only discharge the material, but they also improve the mixing quality, and it combines the efficiency of a double arm mixer with the convenience of an extrusion screw for improved mixing and discharge of extremely viscous materials. So these are the three discharge options in a double arm mixer that can be offered. I will also want to cover here at this point high shear mixing equipment. This is typically what, in the case of your organization, comes in the category of a slurry mixer that we have been discussing. And in this equipment, you see here that we have a high speed impeller which operates at a speed of almost 1500 revolutions per minute, and it gives high shear to the product and gives us a very good homogeneous slurry. It gives excellent dispersion. These can be either only the high shear blade, or as you can see in the image, there is also a slow moving peripheral agitator, which is an anchor agitator. So the high shear mixing equipment are used to create dispersions. The dispersions may be used for any specific application or a characteristic that we need. They can be used to incorporate powdered materials or create a stable emulsion, resulting in the formation of a viscous paste. High shear mixers can also be used to break agglomerates of particles in liquids. High shear mixers are rotor stator type. They can also be continuous inline type mixers. They have high specific power to the tune of 30 to 50 kilowatt per meter cube. The fill levels can range from 20 to 85% of the ball volume. And depending on the configuration, you can have, what you see here is a twin shaft agitator, you can have a triple shaft agitator, and with those you can handle extremely high viscosities.